Hey guys, so yesterday we were comparing fractions with the same denominator. So all of our fraction pieces were the same size. Today we're comparing fractions with the same numerator. So not all of our pieces are the same size and we got to figure out which one's bigger. We're just going to start with unit fractions today, which makes it a little bit easier than trying to figure out regular fractions. All right, so we are comparing fractions with the same numerator. Let's go ahead and unlock the problem. Marcos is at Athena's cafe. He can sit at a table with 5 of his friends or at a different table with 7 of his friends. The same size spinach pie is shared equally among the people at each table. At which table should Marcos sit to get more pie? All right, so the first thing we need to do is figure out what we're trying to figure out. We want Marcos to get more pie. So no matter what table he sits at, he only gets 1 piece of pie. So we know that our numerator is going to be a 1. Okay, we're just getting 1 piece of the pie. Now we have to figure out what the denominators are. So we have a 5 and we have a 7, but these are kind of deceiving. 5 of his friends are at the table. If he joins them, is there still 5 people? No, there's not. He joins, there are now 6 people. Same thing with 7. If 7 of his friends at that table, if he joins them, is it still going to be 7? No, it's going to be 8. So we're going to compare the fractions that, the pies. If you see down here, they drew a picture of the pies, right? So each pie is the same size, and they're going to have to cut it up into how many people want to eat it. So if he sits at the first table with 5 of his friends, he gets 1/6, right? And if he sits at the table with 7 of his friends, he'll get 1/8. Right, so before we move on, I know we have the drawing of the pies, but I want you to go ahead and grab your fraction strips and grab the 1/8 and the 1/6 out of there. Okay, sometimes it's easier just to have things in your hand to figure it out. Once you have the 1/8 and 1/6, I want you to put them on, stack them on top of each other. Which one is bigger? Yeah, this one's bigger. 1/6. If you have to share with less people, you're going to have a bigger piece of pie. So we're going to have to use our greater than, less than symbol. So the pointy section goes towards the bigger piece of pie, not the bigger number, because the bigger number is 8, and that's not right. Okay? So we know 1/6 is going to be bigger than 1/8. If you go ahead and look at the pies that they drew for us, you can see that as well. 1/6 is bigger than 1/8. Not a lot bigger, but a little bit bigger. Okay? So down here, we're going to put our greater than sign. So Marco should sit at the table with how many friends to get more pie? Up here, 5 friends or 7 friends? 5 friends. The less friends you sit with, the more pie you're going to get. Okay? That's how that one works. Which pie has more pieces? Oh, I like it when they do extension questions. And we have the picture of the pie right there. Which pie has more pieces? You can go ahead and count them if you want. It is pie B. Right? Because it has 8 pieces. The more pieces, the whole is divided into the blank the pieces are. So the more people you got to share it with, the smaller your pieces get. And don't worry, we're going to practice this a lot because it takes, a lot of like brain power to figure this out. And which pie has fewer pieces? Pie B has more pieces than pie A. has fewer pieces. The fewer pieces in a whole is divided into the blank the pieces are. The less people you got to share your pie with, the bigger your pieces are. Okay? All right, so this one, it's asking you to use fraction strips instead of drawing. And for these ones, I would really like you to use fraction strips just because sometimes our drawings aren't perfect and it doesn't help us if they're not perfect for this type of thing, okay? So it says, on Saturday, the campers paddled 2/8 of their planned route down the river. On Sunday, they paddled 2/3 of their route down the river. On which day did the campers paddle further? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and underline what it's asking us to find. And further, does that mean more or less? It does. It means more. So we're going to look for the greater fraction. So what are our two fractions? 2/8 and 2/3. They have the same numerator and the denominators are. You remember what I just told you? The smaller the denominator, the bigger the pieces, right? The bigger the denominator, the smaller the pieces. So this time you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull out your 8ths and your 3rds, and you're going to compare them right on top of your book. And then you're going to fill in the drawing that they gave you too. Mine are all stuck together, so it takes me an extra minute to get them. All right, so you're going to put those down in front of you and see which one is bigger. So this is a trick. I have to hold it up instead. So when we look at it, this is 2/3 and this is 2/8. Which one's bigger? Yeah, the 2/3. Remember, when the denominator is small, the pieces are bigger. Okay, so on your page, you are also going to fill out the strips that are there to show what you did. Let's see. We did 2/8. And then we did 2/3, right? And when you do it there, you can easily see which one is bigger, okay? So place a check mark next to the fraction strips that show more parts in the whole. Well, the 8 is more parts in the whole because there's 8 of them. Shade 2/8 and then shade 2/3. We're ahead of them. We got that. And then you're going to compare the parts. So which one is greater? Yeah, the 3rds are greater. So we're going to make sure our mouth goes towards the 3rd. So 2/8 is less than 2/3. So the campers paddled further on Saturday or Sunday? On Sunday. All right, guys, you're going to try this one on your own. It is the same idea, and I definitely want you using these fraction strips, okay? You need to use these to make sure you can compare your fraction. Just keep in mind, the denominator, the smaller it is, the bigger the pieces. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the pieces, okay? You got this. I know you do. Have a good rest of your